The following video is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook.
NFL fans, the season is starting to heat up with big plays and even bigger wins. And if you want to get in on the action, DraftKings Sportsbook is the way to go. They are an official partner of the NFL, and I'm here to share an exciting new offer for you right now. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up using my promo code Philly500. That's right. New customers bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Whether you're a college football fan or a diehard NFL fan like me, DraftKings has betting options for you. DraftKings customers can also get skin in the game with same-game parlays. These are my favorite. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a shot at even bigger payout. And listen, if you're already signed up for DraftKings like me, you can now get a no-sweat bet each game day through September. All you got to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use the promo code Philly500. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code Philly500 only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Once again, I'd like to thank DraftKings Sportsbook for sponsoring today's video. And remember, use promo code Philly500. Bet $5, get $200 instantly in bonus bets. But that's promo code Philly500.
It's all about getting to 4-0 this week, and that's what the Eagles have to do. And we may be looking at one of the stupidest names in the Commanders that we've ever heard in sports. That doesn't mean, however, we don't hate Washington, because rivalries never die.
Dallas still stinks.
You might do it, kick Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. So you know what I'm thinking about? You know what I'm daydreaming about? I'm daydreaming about lighting up another stogie this Sunday as the Eagles go to 4-0. But in order to get to 4-0, we're going to have to face the old Washington Commanders with the stupidest name in the history of sports. A team that has a lot of talent, but a young, inexperienced quarterback. Can the Philadelphia Eagles take advantage of that? Go to 4-0 and just double moonwalk this team's ass? I hope so. I think so. And we're going to talk about it in a second. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, thank you so much for all the support you give to me. It truly, truly means a lot. Now, I got to tell you, I have a bad taste in my mouth. Pause. And it's not coming from Mark Holmes's, Mark Holmes's style of eating chicken wings where you suck the DNA out of a chicken and then hope you grow wings. No, it's not that. I'm a little pissed off. I'm a little pissed off about how that Washington game ended last year. I'm still a little pissed off about it. Don't think for a second that didn't bother me with that stupid call and then that stupid quarterback all happy and celebrating a penalty to end the game that caused us our first loss of the year last year. I haven't forgot it. I haven't forgot how Washington went about beating us. And although I got to say it was the right way to play the Eagles, I don't think that it's going to happen again, although I think the Washington may try to do it. Now, going into this game, we got to talk about the injury report first, okay? It looks like Washington, for the most part, is pretty healthy, okay? The Eagles, our injury report is getting longer and longer and longer. Pause. You know what I mean? But here's what we have. Eagles injury report, Sidney Brown. He is out, did not practice. He will not be playing this week. That really sucks, man. I want this kid to get reps and get in a situation where he could play and start full time. Defensive tackle Fletcher Cox, knee, limited practice.
His status is good to go. DeVonta Smith, illness, he's good to go. It sounds like these guys had the flu or something, because if you remember, Jalen Hurts had it earlier in the week on Monday night, during the Monday night game, to be frank. So DeVonta probably caught it from him, and he's getting through it. So he should be good to go on Sunday. Quez Watkins, hamstring, out. This continues to hurt Quez Watkins. This continues to really cost him that third wide receiver job. And it makes me wonder if the Eagles, because of Quez Watkins' status and his injury, hamstrings can linger all year. Will this be a situation where they just look to go get another wide receiver, a Hunter Renfrow or somebody, and bring him in because you can't wait for Quez Watkins to be healthy? We'll see. Britton Covey, hamstring, full practice. He's good to go. Linebacker Zach Cunningham, ribs. He was limited earlier in the week. He's good to go. Landon Dickerson, knee. We were all worried about Landon Dickerson on Monday night. He left the game. He's good to go. He had a full practice today. We'll say Justin Evans, neck. Justin Evans, neck. He's questionable. 50-50 he plays. This could be another big loss for us, especially when you have Sidney Brown out, and now if you lose Justin Evans, all of a sudden it's really down to Blankenship and Edmonds. So keep an eye on this one. We got to hope that Evans can go, and this is why, and if you haven't seen my video earlier today, I was answering a question I got all week. Will the Eagles make a move? Are they going to make a move? And I'm saying, yeah, the Eagles are going to make a move by the trade deadline. And I think the position it's going to happen, that safety position. Guard center, Cam Jurgens, groin, full practice, good to go. Running back, Boston Scott, full practice. He looks like he is going to be good to go as well. So that's Eagles, a lot of guys out. Not all super serious injuries. So, hopefully they'll continue to get healthy. The safety position is a spot that I'm going to definitely worry about. Obviously, Washington has weapons, especially McLaurin, right? He has killed us in the past. He has given Slay problems. And, I like some of the receivers. I like Samuel. I like McLaurin. I don't like them because they're Washington, but I think they're good players. So I think they have some weapons. The question for Washington is going to be their quarterback. Their quarterback, Sam Howell, has been sacked more than any other quarterback in the National Football League. And we're talking like 5 or 6 more, okay? And one of the big areas that he's had a problem in is that he holds the ball too long. And this could be right up the Eagles' alley and right at the perfect time. Because one of the things the Eagles have dealt with early on the defensive side of the ball is teams want to get rid of the ball quick. They're getting rid of the ball in like 2 seconds. There was even times where it was like 1.5 seconds. That ball's out. We've seen that the first 3 weeks of the year because teams are scared deathly of their pass rush and that defensive line. So this could be one of those get-right games for the Eagles. I, matter of fact, think it's going to be. They're going to probably come out and want how to get rid of the ball quick. But, a young quarterback like that, I think it's very easy to revert back to holding the ball too long. He's holding the ball for about 3.5 seconds, okay, per pass play. So he's holding it a good second, if not more, than what the Eagles have dealt with. If you give the Eagles defensive line that much time to get home, I think you're in problem. This is where I see the big advantage for the Eagles defense, especially against Washington's offense. The Eagles will be able to get to Howell. I think that, they'll be able to get him, hit him, knock him around, and then what a young quarterback is going to do? He is going to sit there and he's going to maybe throw that ball a little early. Maybe his accuracy gets a little messed up. You have a chance for turnovers. 4 interceptions he threw last week versus Buffalo. And I hope that the Eagles watched exactly what the Buffalo Bills did and McDermott, because McDermott comes from the Jim Johnson tree. And the Jim Johnson tree says, Jim Johnson says you don't have young quarterbacks ever tear your defense up. You should be able to confuse them, give them looks, and make them see things that they don't know what they're looking at, which causes them to hold the ball longer, more sacks, and you shut them down. I hope the Eagles look at what Buffalo did and try to emulate it. I've been pretty happy with Sean Desai so far, and I'll be honest with you. I'll be quite honest with you. I don't know if it's because he's not Jonathan Gannon. Like, am I liking him more than I should because he's not Jonathan Gannon? But, I mean, I think he's done a pretty decent job. I thought they did a great job last week versus Minnesota. So, guys like McLaurin, they scare me. They worry me. But I think with how a young quarterback passing, there is no reason why he should be going out there throwing 3-4 touchdowns, 70% accuracy. He shouldn't be throwing for 300 yards. He should have 140, 150 yards passing, maybe 1 touchdown and an interception, maybe 2 and a fumble, and like 5 sacks. That's the stat line I'm expecting from Howe, okay? The Eagles' defensive line and the matchup against their offensive line is going to favor the Eagles. And I don't think Washington has all that great of an offensive line. So when you look at the Eagles' defense and Washington's offense, like I said, it's going to come down to how long Sam Howell holds the ball and if Washington's offensive line can basically protect him against the Eagles' awesome, monstrous defensive line, okay? Listen, Washington has weapons. There's no argument there, right? You have Samuel, you have Dotson, you have McLaurin. They have great receivers, but can Howe get them the ball? That's going to be the question. And the other thing that I want to see is, will Washington... will they look to try to employ the same strategy as they did the year before when they basically just tried to hold on to the ball, keep the Eagles' offense off the field? I think it was some ridiculous statistic at halftime of that game where it was like 19 minutes Washington had the ball in that first half. It was something crazy like that. Are they going to try to do that with the Eagles this year? Now, I like their running backs. I like Robinson. I like Antonio Gibson. But the one thing and the one problem I see for Washington, if they come out and try to do what they did last year, is this. Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is a monster. You ain't running on the Eagles this year. This isn't like when they had Hargrave and you could run at them and their weakness was in the run. This defensive line can play the run, okay? They can play the run. And I think that's going to be a problem for Washington. So if they want to come out and try to play ball control and give it to the running backs, wear the Eagles' defensive line out, keep the ball out of the hands of Howe, they're in big trouble. They're in big trouble. I see this for the Eagles' defensive line, especially guys like HAASON Reddick, as a get-right game. I'm predicting 6 sacks for the Eagles in this game. I think HAASON Reddick, who has had a cast on the first 3 weeks, it's been taken off, so that has to help him. I'm not putting everything on the cast, by the way. We've seen HAASON Reddick. He's very streaky. He can go a month, do nothing. Then he could go the next month and triple the output of other stars in the league. He's just that kind of guy. But I do think it has to help overall that cast is off. I expect Reddick to have a big game. I think Jalen Carter's going to have a big game. I think Jordan Davis is going to... I think Jordan Davis is going to have 2 sacks. I don't know why I got this feeling Jordan Davis is going to have 2 sacks. I think the Eagles 6 sacks overall, maybe more, but I'm going to predict 6. And I think that they're going to be a problem all day for Washington's offense. I really like the matchup the Eagles have. Even though we're missing safeties, I think the defensive line is going to have a big game. Now... as far as the Eagles' offense going up against Washington's defense, last year Washington's defense didn't have to do much because the Eagles' offense wasn't on the field. The Eagles, it was just one of those games. I'm still a little bit bitter about that game last year. I hated that game and the way it ended. But Washington, look, the strength of their defense is their defensive line. Montez Sweat, Chase Young, right? You have Darren Payne, Jonathan Allen. I mean, these are first-round picks. This is a very, very good defensive line. I would say it's maybe top 3-4 defensive line in the National Football League talent-wise. But it's not as good as the Eagles' defensive line. And the Eagles really have a big kryptonite piece to go up against their defensive line. The Eagles have the best offensive line in football. Okay, so that's a problem, and I think that the Eagles' offensive line should be able to hold up, but I'm not going to take anything away from those guys. Those are good players. I expect them to go out, and they're going to probably make plays. Now, the one interesting thing about Washington's defensive line is, with 4 first-round picks, last week, they gave up 6 yards a carry. 6 yards a carry to the Buffalo Bills. A Bills team that is not a run-first team and has struggled to run the ball in the past. They gave up 6 yards a carry to the Buffalo Bills. If they give up that many yards to the Bills, they're really going to have trouble with DeAndre Swift. I continue to think the Eagles are going to continue to run the ball. I think it's going to happen. Now, Washington's secondary has been pretty good. They're pretty good. Kendall Fuller, good player. Of course, Cameron Curl, good safety. They have done a good job in the secondary. And then you got Emmanuel Forbes. He wanted to talk a lot of crap about playing DeVonta Smith. I think DeVonta Smith's going off this week. DeVonta Smith historically has had big games against Washington. I don't think he did much last week. I think DeVonta Smith is going to have a $150 this week. I say 7 catches, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns for DeVonta Smith. I think he's going to have a big game. But Washington's secondary is good. They have a good defensive line, but you can run against them. And what I want to see from the Eagles is I want to see them be better in the red zone. You get in the red zone, I want touchdowns to come out of it. You got to get touchdowns. Now, Washington did not play good against Buffalo. They're going to come in here, and they're going to try to rebound against the Eagles. I feel like the more we play offense, I think Hurts will find his rhythm, and he'll get better and better. I thought for the most part, they were okay between the 20s versus Tampa Bay last week. Yeah, he threw those 2 interceptions. You like to have those back, and they didn't play well in the red zone. But the way I see it this week, you're at home. It's another week to get everything going. And I think Washington, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. They gave up 6 yards a carry. They've seen what the Eagles and that running game has done the last 2 weeks. I would like to see the Eagles use play action off of that run game, maybe take a couple shots deep, and we'll see what happens. But, I mean, Washington, talented team. I think with the Sam Howell and the quarterback, they're just not on our level. And I'm not saying that trying to be braggadocious in any way. They literally may be the second best team in the division right now. But when I look at this game and I look at the final score and what I think is going to happen, I think the Eagles 6 sacks this week. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a good game in the air. I think DeVonta Smith is going to go for a $150. I think DeAndre Swift will continue to run. Now, will he get 8 yards a carry? I don't know. But the Eagles will continue to run the ball. You can run it on Washington. And I think at the end of the day, I think the Eagles will win this game 27-14. That's my final score. That's my prediction. I think the Eagles are 8.5-point favorites. I like that. I like that spread a lot. I could see this game being, typical NFC East game early, and I think the Eagles pull away, and I think it's going to be Hurts to DeVonta Smith that does it. 6 sacks, and I think the Eagles go to 4-0, which is very important. Now, Washington, I think they play the following Thursday in Chicago. Washington, after 4 weeks being 2-2, sounds about right to me. As far as the rest of the NFC East goes, you got Dallas and New England. Very interesting game. I would assume that New England is going to copy what Arizona did. And I'll say this. I have never been a bigger fan than I am right now of Ezekiel Elliott. So I hope he goes out and has a huge game. But in predicting that game, New England versus Dallas, I think Dallas will win. I think Dallas will win and they'll rebound. Obviously, I will be streaming that game and I'll be rooting against Dallas. But I think they win that game only to rebound and then go and get their butts kicked by the Niners the week after. I think this is a must-win for the Dallas Cowboys. They lose this game, then they lose to San Francisco. All hell's going to break loose in Dallas. God, can we please have that happen? It would be the greatest thing ever. But That'll be an interesting game. We'll be streaming. And then on Monday night, you have Seattle and the Giants. I think that's a must-win for the Giants. Giants have some tough games still coming, and they can't keep burying themselves by going to 1-3. So Seattle, Giants, I'm going with Seattle. I think Seattle's going to beat the Giants this week. Giants will fall to 1-3, but I think it's a must-win for the Giants, and they're not going to win. It's going to be must-win, but they don't win. So that'll be that for the Giants. But I got Seattle. I got Dallas, unfortunately, but we'll be rooting for New England, and I will be streaming both those games as well. So come hang out with me. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision, baby. We're all just living in it. Come on, Zeke. Come on, Zeke. Let's eat, Zeke. Let's eat, Zeke. I have never been such a big fan as I am right now of Zeke Elliott. Let's go out there and eat, baby. Let's go out there and eat. It's time to go to work. It's time to bury your Dallas Cowboys. Denzel Washington out.